this video is for the class Discovering Pre-Algebra. This is worksheet 4-1, the last topic of this class. And if you're in this class, you know the drill. I'm going to put up those answers here in a minute, and we're going to go through how I got these answers. And if you're not in this class, just see the description and you can choose to go to my profile on OutSchool and take one of my classes in person. So let me throw up those answers. All right, so you'll see the answers up right now. Please pause and grade yourself. And I am going to start going through how I got these answers. All right, so let's go ahead and zoom in on this page. And we'll get started with me showing you how I got this. All right, so we have 3 plus blank equals 10. Well, I know that what's missing is being added to the 3. So to be able to figure it out, I got to do that opposite operation, which is subtracting. All right, so I'm going to subtract 3 from both sides. That's going to give me a 0 over here. And if I subtract it over here, I'm going to get a 7. So I know that this box equals 7. So the missing number is 7. I can always check it by putting it back into the situation, and again I'll get 7. Again, all of these I think are addition, so I'm adding to the 4. My unknown is adding to the 4. So I need to subtract 4 on both sides because that's going to give me 0, which is going to leave that by itself. And if I subtract it over here, it's going to give me 2. Remember, subtraction is an opposite operation, which means there are always different ways that I can write this. I'll show you here in a minute after we find the answer. So this means that the box equals 2. All right, and we can check it, but let me show you something. So if I have the equation 4 plus 2 equals 6, I could rewrite it as 6 minus 4 equals 2, or 6 minus 2 equals 4. You see how I still use up all the same numbers? I just sort of rearrange them into other places. Subtracting is just the opposite of adding. I could rearrange and still make sense. Equations that make sense from this addition, okay? So that's why they're opposite operations, and that's why I can use it to help me solve. I know that the missing thing, the missing link that I need in this to make a complete, unique equation that works is 2. If I have 6 and 4, I have to have 2. All right, and that's unique to that situation and those two numbers being there, okay? You can't put 3 in there and it still balances and works out, all right? So it's unique to that. And the same thing here. If I go and I subtract 2 from both sides, that will be 0 and this will be 7, showing me that the unique number combination in this one is 7 plus 2 equals 9, okay? Which I can rewrite as subtraction. 9 minus 7 equals 2, or the correct way, which is 9 minus 2 equals 7. Told me that that unknown number that I have to make this make sense is 7. All right, and again, the opposite operation was subtraction. I think for all these, it's subtraction, yeah. All right, so let's take 13 minus 8, since it's adding here. The opposite operation would be to subtract, and that's going to give me 5, telling me that that unique number that makes all these different ways that I can look at it make sense is 5. Okay, that's the unique number that corresponds with 8 and 13. All right, if I get a negative number out, I must have a bigger negative number here, okay? Because I had to have a pretty big debt if I paid off $5 of my debt and still owed money. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and subtract 5. I'm just going to follow the pattern. If it's add here, I'm going to do the opposite operation, subtract 6, subtract 5. That's like I'm at negative 6 degrees and the temperature drops 5 more degrees. I'm now at negative 11. This goes to 0. All right. So I can either go 5, let's see, it's subtract here, so I have to subtract. So I can either go -5 minus 6 equals -11. I could go -6 minus 5 equals -11. I could go -11 plus 5 equals -6. I could go -11 plus 6 equals -5. I mean, there's just all these varying ways, but that number I need to make all these true is that -11. All right, so this 6 is negative here. Okay, I could rearrange it to this, right? So actually, I'm going to add in this one. All right, so because this is negative, the only way to get a 0 from -6 is to have a +6, correct? So I know the answer is going to be 7 because I'm going to add these. All right, and this makes sense because if I have 7 minus 6, I have 1. If I have -6 plus 7, I have 1. I can rearrange this to be 7 minus 1 is 6. I could, rearrange it again and go -7 minus plus 1 is -6. There's just a bunch of different ways, but I need that 7 to make them all possible. All right, again, because this is a big number and it's negative, then I know from my rules of negative and positive numbers that in adding and subtracting, we always go with the sign of the bigger number. So the bigger number in this equation needs to be negative. All right, so I need something that is 10 more than 17. All right, so I'm going to subtract since it's being added here from both sides. So -10 minus 17. Well, that's like going to Starbucks, spending $10 on your credit card, going to Claire's, spending another 17. I now owe $27. So that missing number is -27, and I subtracted. All right. So again, this is a -9. The opposite of a negative is a positive. So I'm going to add 9 to both sides. So I have -6 plus 9, okay? That is like I owe $6, but I have $9. I have $3 for the weekend. So that is the first worksheet in this packet, and I'll see you in class. Hopefully you get it. If not, of course, we'll keep working on it. This is kind of awkward, I know. All right, so I'll see you guys in class. Bye.